SR93 Boxing, I'm back with a quick video. Danny Jacobs versus Triple G, or Triple G versus Danny Jacobs fights coming up. I've made a prediction before saying that I feel like Triple G would win. I don't know if I've done a keys to victory, but I think I may have. But I'm going to do another one anyway because fight time is coming up very soon. So these are what I think. Now, just like I did the Danny Garcia versus Keith Thurman keys to victory, I'm going to do the same for Triple G versus Danny Jacobs. These are some of the things that I feel like Triple G needs to do. Triple G, I feel like, look, you got a long range, mid range, and kind of close range. When it comes to the fighting, the physical aspect, long range as in like keeping distance. Some fighters are very good at fighting off the at distance. Some fighters are good with the mid range, and some fighters are very good on the inside. Like some fighters can be good at multiple different ranges, or all ranges. Who knows? But Triple G seems very good in the mid range. Very, very good. He has a long range jab. But what he should do is try fight mid range because I feel like he has an advantage on that over Danny Jacobs. He definitely has to use the jab. He really has one of the best jabs in boxing. Triple G does. And he should use it in order to just because, if you've boxed or sparred or anything, you would know what a jab can do. A jab can set up many different things. Like when I was sparring, sometimes you're about to throw, let's say you try to throw a hook or you try to throw a lead right hand. Unless you're an expert at this, it's very hard to pull it off. Lead right hand, the straight right, it can be pulled off at times, but any punch can be pulled off initially. But a lot of times when you're very good at anticipating punches, and most professional boxers are, they're very, very good at anticipating what the opponent is about to throw. It makes it easier to see those punch coming, and then you can like block it or like dodge it and counter stuff like that. It makes it very dangerous for the person throwing it because they can get countered. But when you make it when you throw a jab, what the jab does is, like when I used to jab, and when my anyone that I used to spar used to jab, often used to have good jabs. What they do is it kind of keeps me guessing what they're about to do. I can't just go in there when they're about to throw a lead hook or when they're about to throw a hook or whatever right away instead of a jab. I can kind of slip, like kind of roll underneath it, and then kind of like go underneath. Like when they're throwing a left hook, let's say, I'll kind of go underneath their, like my right, so their left, and I can counter them. But when they throw a jab, it's very hard to guess what's coming next. He can kind of double up on the jab again. He can jab and sort of come with the right hand, which is really which is classic, basically. The 1-2s, and the jab can block what your vision to see what's coming next. The jab can set up because you can gauge distance from it. The jab helps you gauge distance. The jab helps you just keep the opponent guessing. And it's really the best punch in boxing. Danny Jacobs, Golovkin needs to be able to use the jab, and he has a very good jab at that. He needs to use that. He needs to be able to cut the ring off. I feel like Golovkin is very good when it comes to coming forward, and he needs to fight this fight coming forward. I feel like if I'll go into that later. But Danny Jacobs needs to fight this fight coming forward. He has to back Danny Jacobs up. He has to go towards him. He really has to kind of I guess I don't know if I can explain it properly, but I guess you know what I mean. Like he just has to back him up. He's the one that has to be the aggressor. Golovkin has to be the aggressor in this fight, definitely. He can't be the one backing up. I think if he backs up, let's say he backs up the whole fight, which I doubt he will. But if he does, then he's a bit fucked, isn't he? But I think then Golovkin will come forward, and as he should, and he has to cut the ring off. He really has to. He's very good at cutting the ring off. He has to do it. And with the combination of him cutting the ring off, jabbing, he can use the jab to cut the ring off as well, because like, Danny Jacobs trying to move to the side, he can use the jab to kind of, you know, just kind of interrupt their work, your opponent's work. Golovkin can interrupt Danny Jacobs' movement with his jab. Another thing is Danny Jacobs, I would say, is more of a mover. A bit less flat-footed. I would say, they don't want to go toe to toe, and like Danny Jacobs and Golovkin don't want to go toe to toe. I mean, Golovkin, I feel like was a bit hurt against Brook, and Danny Jacobs a bigger puncher than Kell Brook with more reach. I think he definitely has more reach. He's definitely the taller guy. So Danny Jacobs is definitely a dangerous puncher, and Golovkin. One of the good things about him is he can punch, but he's also a good, really decent mover. He can move well. He has some speed to him, like movement. And I feel like Golovkin can really, really, slow that down by using body shots. He can really use a lot of body shots, so that's another thing he needs to use. He needs to use body shots, which he does. He does in many different fights. He needs to be able to use body shots, feint to the head, then go to the body and shit. And that will slow the fighter down. That will slow Danny Jacobs down. Danny Jacobs doesn't really have a solid chin like Golovkin, I feel like. I mean, don't get me wrong, anyone can be knocked out. I'm not saying the guy, I mean, you could say the guy has a glass chin. I mean, considering some of the other fighters around boxing that people tend to refer to them as glass chin, anyone can be knocked out, that's the truth. And that it makes it easier for Danny Jacobs to be knocked out if he's gassed out, body shots, landed, got hit with a lot of body shots, he's tired, then he can't move as much, and I don't think he's overall as durable as Golovkin. So Golovkin has to really use body shots. Another thing Golovkin has to do is just simply keep your hands up, and I do not believe that Golovkin was. Look, personally, I've met fighters. I've met a few fighters, not like these famous fighters. I've met some fighters that are like the professionals. I've met amateur fighters. Everyone tells me that's bullshit. And to be honest, I haven't fought, but I've sparred. And to me, that seems bullshit as well. I don't care how light you hit me. I don't care. I don't want you to hit me. I don't care if it doesn't knock me out. I don't care if it doesn't even stun me. I don't want to get hit. No one likes to get hit. This idea that Golovkin let his opponent hit him, I personally think it's all bullshit. It's just you got hit, so the best thing you can do is, instead of claiming that this is a flaw on your part for not being able to defend yourself, you just try to say, oh yeah, I let him hit me. Like, bullshit. So yeah, I do think this is bullshit. And another thing, wait, what was the, another thing is he has to he can't rush. Golovkin cannot suddenly come in there rush, because he's going up against a big puncher. He's definitely, the guy who is going up against is probably the biggest puncher he's going to face, and he's definitely the best opponent that Golovkin is going to face. I mean, Kell Brook was the best opponent he faced, which is quite pathetic, because Kell Brook, he's a great fighter, but he's a great fighter at welterweight. A welterweight should not be the best opponent that you face. If you are someone, if you're the most feared man in boxing, quote unquote, then your best opponent should not be from 2 weight divisions below. It doesn't matter how many, it doesn't matter who tried to duck you and stuff. There was people that was willing to fight you. Andre Ward was willing to fight you. Canelo was willing to fight you. $15 million, you don't want to accept it. But anyway, that's a different video. Let's look at what Danny Jacobs, I feel like, needs to do. And Danny Jacobs, again, is a better mover. He's more of a mover, but he shouldn't move backwards like that. He shouldn't move away from. He has to be able to move away from Triple G, and he should when he needs to. But I feel like he has to take the fight to Triple G, which I know a lot of people are gonna disagree with me, because they think, oh, Triple G is the bigger puncher. Why take the fight to him? You're gonna get knocked down, especially Danny Jacobs, who's not as durable as Triple G. See, Triple G, when he's backed up, is not really, he doesn't perform that well. Triple G is not really a good back foot fighter. He's not. He's more of a front foot fighter. If you look at Triple G versus Kell Brook, Triple G versus Willie Monroe Jr., there's a few other fights as well. Willie Monroe Jr. was landing shots. He wasn't the biggest puncher either, but he was landing shots. And when he was kind of going up to him, and not necessarily on close range, when he was hitting those long range shots at Triple G, he was having the most success. I remember when Willie Monroe has the most success, he was the one that wasn't backing up. He has to kind of stop Triple G on his tracks in a way by taking the fight to him. Hit him with 2-3 combinations and stuff like that. Triple G doesn't tend to fight punch back in middle of your combinations. Long range combinations is what Danny Jacobs needs to do. He's a taller guy. He needs to use his reach as a advantage, I guess. I think he has better reach. I've not really checked it, but from what I've seen from fights, he seems to have a very good reach. But yeah, that's what my eyes can tell. So yeah, another thing that yeah, as I said, he needs to back him up, and he has to make Golovkin feel his power. I feel like Gennady Golovkin has a shady defense, not necessarily the best defense, and Danny Jacobs has to exploit that. He really has to exploit that. Danny Jacobs, he has the power to exploit it. He's got long range shots. He's pretty fast. He can just come. If Kell Brook can hit you with those shots, and Kell Brook is more skilled than Danny Jacobs, but I think Danny Jacobs is skilled enough, and he has the speed and he has the reach. I think Danny Jacobs has some speed to it, so he can definitely land the right hand, and it has to be straight. I want it to be straight. I mean, if I was his coach, I would want it to be straight. And definitely he can hurt Triple G. And you know what? Triple G can do all that shit about getting caught, against Kell Brook and stuff, and invite him in and shit to pretend like as if he hasn't been hurt. He's gonna realize that he has to be really careful. If Danny Jacobs can hurt him early, he will realize that he has to be very careful. He can't just go in that fight thinking he can just do whatever the fuck he wants. No, he can't. Danny Jacobs also has to be able to move when he needs to. So rather, he also has to be able to box. Now Triple G, I don't think he's gonna come in like he did in other fights. Kell Brook is going to try get the knockout early. He's going to try box. He's going to try fight that David Lemieux fight in a way, I feel, because it's a more of a dangerous fight, and Triple G knows that. Danny Jacobs should be able to ready to box. I reckon the scenario might end up being like Triple G's boxing him, Danny Jacobs swinging for the fences, and Triple G's kind of slowing him down, occasionally banging to the body, and then countering him maybe at times, and then getting Danny Jacobs out of there. That's a possibility, but Danny Jacobs needs to be wary of that. He has to make sure that he's also able to box. He has to use his jab as well. Both of these fighters have to use their jabs. And, Danny Jacobs is coming with a stiff jab, with a hard jab. He doesn't really have a hard jab like Triple G, but, he's a power puncher. He can have some pop in that jab. I'm fairly sure if he wants to. And he has to be able to box. He can't go toe-to-toe with Triple G, and I think he has to keep it more long range. I feel like he'll be better long range. He has to push Triple G back a little bit at long range. And yeah, man, that's really what I have to say, man. I feel like I'm missing a few things that I feel like I forgot to say, but those are the things that I really wanted to say. And yeah, let me know what you think. I think Triple G will win? Look, okay, let's go through that quickly before I end the video. I think Triple G will win, but Danny Jacobs can definitely win. He's the better opponent. He's the best opponent that Triple G has faced. He's the most dangerous opponent. He has power. He has some speed, and he's gonna be mentally tough. He survived cancer. He survived. He survived cancer. So in that itself is a character builder. You went through that. A lot of people nowadays die from. I'll make a video on cancer. I think I should, but yeah. So I reckon Danny Jacobs will be tough. He can definitely win the fight, but I just feel like Triple G will try to box him. He has a very good jab, and he'll try bang him to the body. And Danny Jacobs might be I think Triple G is a very good boxer in terms of offensive skills, but Danny Jacobs might not be able to outbox him in that sense, and then he might get frustrated. I don't know, man. I feel like Triple G. This could be a competitive fight, and I will not be surprised if Danny Jacobs gets the win. I will not be surprised if either of these guys go down, but I feel like Danny Jacobs is not durable enough. But yeah, let me know what you think. I'm at 93 boxing. I'm out.